In this episode of the How to Do Your 20s podcast, I've got the couple from Keto Connect on here. We're going to be talking about ketosis. We're going to be talking about starting a business that you're passionate about. We're going to be talking about actually some really exciting news. They both just recently quit their jobs so they could do this full time, which is perfect timing. So we're going to be talking about all this, the business side of things, the entrepreneurial side of things. So first off, thank you both so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're extremely excited.
So let's dive in right away to your guys' story. Why did you guys start Keto Connect actually?
So we, getting into the keto diet, we started after seeing that sugar film, and we had also just started dating. We loved cooking, so it kind of just, we were like, we'll give it a try. And then we were in San Francisco at the time, and we moved to Philadelphia, and I was studying for the bar actually, and Matt had this idea. He's like, why don't we just start a website, a food blog? And I was like, okay, yeah, it'll just be a fun side project. After I'm done studying, we'll get it going. And we kind of just started it out of nowhere, right?
Never stopped.
Yeah,
basically.
Never stopped.
People started liking it, so that kind of made
Pushed
it easier
us
to keep continuing to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And now at this point, is the website the biggest thing, or is YouTube or Instagram? What do you see as the biggest driving force?
The website is definitely the biggest thing, but I would say we did YouTube originally just as like more of like a traffic source to our website, not thinking it would be such a big part of like our daily day-to-day.
Right.
But she really pops on camera, so yeah, our YouTube took off like a lot faster than we thought it would. So that's kind of like a standalone thing now, we consider it. So we have like two.
Right. Most of our audience, in terms of viewers and then YouTube, they don't overlap as much as you would think.
Yeah.
Like our YouTubers don't even know we have a food blog.
A lot of them.
A lot of them. Yeah.
What did you guys do to grow it? I mean, and so how long ago again did you say you started the website?
8 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not even that long ago.
No, it's really not. We're very fortunate, definitely. I feel like we just did a lot of research. We kind of figured out what you need to do, and then we just started doing it and learned as you go. Like, it's funny, you can look back at like our first couple recipes. The photos are terrible. Like, we didn't even know you were supposed to take the photos vertically. We were taking them horizontally for like the first 3 months of our food blog. And
we weren't doing as much like keyword research before like actually doing the recipe to see like how many hits it was getting and who else was doing it, so our competition. And now we do that and we see that it's definitely a huge benefit.
Yeah, we're just constantly learning, constantly new sources of traffic, just gradual improvements every day, really.
Yeah.
And it just adds up over time.
And has your traffic just steadily and like gradually increased, or have you seen some of those big spikes?
We've definitely seen some big spikes. We know food blogs tend to be really cyclical, like November, December, huge. So we did get a big uptick during those months. And then we're kind of like, we also are like a diet lifestyle blog. So then the first couple months of the year are big.
Right.
So we have seen month over month just continuous, like straight up, basically improvement. But we're thinking it might get a little leaner in the
summer months.
Yeah.
Has there been anything that you've done as far as marketing you've seen a big, like a non-seasonally driven spike, like maybe going on another YouTube channel, or has there been any of those spikes?
Yeah, so we've done collaborations and we've seen spikes from that. Like we spoke to Jason Whitrock over the phone. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he gave us a shout out. And then like just yesterday, we saw a huge, like that was our biggest day of just getting subscribers from his video.
Yeah, I'd say YouTube collaborations really are just helping with YouTube subscribers. But some like tactics I'd say that are probably underutilized and like right away was just getting us a lot of traffic to our site is Pinterest for sure. Mm-hmm. Food blogs, Pinterest, like if you're not doing that, you're doing something wrong. It's really just low barrier of entry and like right away you get traffic.
Yeah.
And do you guys just work on the website yourself, or do you have a virtual assistant or some other kind of help?
We do it all ourselves right now.
We've been thinking a lot about hiring. We're not really sure what that would be for, like what branch of the business that would be, like maybe helping with videos, but I kind of like doing videos.
Yeah.
Maybe like some content writing.
Yeah, we just like to touch on everything, as I'm sure you can imagine having your own business. Like it's so important to like keep our voice and like the integrity behind it. So we're still like fiddling around with hiring and
Yeah.
all that.
I'm very nervous about having a different person than us to like contact the like the viewers and the people
Yeah.
emailing us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I 100% agree. I will say I love having a virtual assistant. My virtual assistant basically just does all the boring stuff. Like even some of the video editing, I'll have them import the video, cut intros and outros, and then I go in and maybe make it a little bit artsy. But you guys should 100% think about, if you haven't already, getting
Did that
some.
take you a long time to get like a really solid one, or right
No,
away? Pretty
I
easy.
pretty easy. I got lucky. I think the first time I got lucky, but now I think I have a bit of a system to do it. So the first time I went to onlinejobs.ph. I don't know if you're familiar with that website, but it's like almost like Craigslist for the Philippines is the way I describe it. And I put an ad out there. I went through 100 candidates applied to me, and I asked like the top 5, like, okay, Skype with me. And I asked a bunch to Skype with me, and only 5 said yes. And the 5 that said yes, only 1 would do video, and that was my criteria. I'm like, all right, if you're not willing to do video, either A, your internet quality is not good enough, which
Mm.
means that I don't want you working for me. B, you're not who you say you are, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Or C, you're too nervous to work with me. And then it's like, well, if you're too nervous to work with me, then like, why would I? Are you too nervous to interview? You're going to be too nervous to work with me, and that got weird. So that first VA I had for 2 years, amazing. And I recently hired another VA after going through a few, and he's awesome. Like I really good. So
Yeah, we should look into that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's a good tip.
yeah, and then you can get one. Like I just recently, a friend of mine who's still pretty early on, I told him like you can get one for 10 hours a week, which isn't a lot of time. And my friends, I think, just does like basic cropping work and just anything that's algorithmic and boring. So, anyways, enough about that. Let's get back to you guys.
Okay. Yeah.
So, what future plans then do you have for growing this business? I mean, obviously, if you guys are just both quitting your full-time jobs right now, you got probably some big plans in the works.
Yeah, we absolutely do. Well, a big thing so our goal for 2017 was for one of us to quit our job by the end of the year. And then we kind of had a really great month in March, and it felt like we were wasting tons of time just sitting for 40 hours at another place.
And we also realized like this is what we want to do.
Right.
We don't want to work for a job. We don't want to work a job. Like we know that this is what we want to be doing in a year from now. So burn the ships,
Right.
and just make
Love
it
it.
successful was the goal.
So then our lease is also up here in Philadelphia in June. So we decided we should go somewhere where we'll have more space to like take more pictures and just cheaper. So we're moving to Atlanta in June. And then the big project we are considering probably gonna do is have a book by the end of the year.
Cookbook.
Cookbook for
Yeah.
the holidays.
And so it seems like the ketogenic diet is just growing like rapidly.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the same thing?
I think so. It's kind of hard to know because I feel like we're also within that growing pretty rapidly. So it's hard. Like if you were more of a baseline, you could tell easier, I think.
Right.
But yeah, I do like a monthly like search, the Google search results, like how many people are searching for keto, and it's every month it goes up. So
Yeah.
it seems to be a pattern that will continue, I would say, for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked up some research as well, and it looked like it spiked in January, but it continued to go up, which is rare for diets. Like
Yeah.
usually it spikes in January and it drops right back down in February. So
Right.
what got you guys involved in like why ketosis versus? I mean, there's a lot of pretty healthy diets out there. Why ketosis?
Or at least me, and I think her also, we always are like ready to experiment, self-experimentation. We're big on that. Even within a keto diet, we're very big on that. And just the real catalyst was watching that sugar film, as we said earlier, which might seem like a dumb reason to like but there's always like a dumb reason why you decide to make a big change. Like there's always that one thing, and that was kind of it for me. And then I think I influenced her to do it with me because we were just started dating. She wanted to come along for the ride.
Yeah.
And we liked the results. Like maybe 10 days into it, we had a lot more energy. And the main thing I loved was just like no afternoon crash in energy. I just felt like I could keep going, get a lot more done. So that's the main reason.
Yeah. I'm completely on track with that. Yeah. So even aside from any like weight loss. I mean, not that we either of us have lost weight, but I'm performing like better in the gym, and that's new for me. I've also we change up our routines monthly in terms of what we do in lifting, and I'm just building better, and like I look better, and I've never had the body I have now in terms, of muscle mass. So it just seems to really work for my body, and I think that's important, like to know if something works for you or not, and like experiment with it essentially.
So are you guys ketosis 24/7 now, or do you guys experiment with other things?
We're thinking about starting to experiment. For the past, I think maybe 15 months now, we've been pretty much straight ketosis, no cheat days, nothing like that. Maybe we'll go over our carbs or like have a wing night or something and just go crazy on calories once in a while. But for the most part, we're pretty dedicated to it. I think she's thinking she might do like some carb nights, like once a month, once every couple weeks, something like that. We're going to do research on that more and see. She's going to do that. And then I'm going to try doing like a keto gains type of thing, if you're familiar with that, which is before you go to the gym lifting heavy weights, you take like a little dextrose, maybe 5 grams and 5 to 10 grams. And it replenishes your muscle glycogen, but not your liver glycogen. So you can get like it's kind of a hack. You can get some better gains, better performance in the gym without really impacting ketosis too much. There's a great website on it, ketogains.com, I believe.
Yeah.
And what does your daily like meals look like? Breakfast, lunch, dinner? I don't know if you follow the standard 3 or you have your own system, but what does a daily set of meals look like?
So personally, I don't, I know Matt will talk about he intermittent fast. I don't do that because I just find that if I eat throughout the day, I'm more productive, I'm more efficient in general. So breakfast, like this morning, was 2 eggs, avocado, and like sour cream. And then lunch, I think we do breakfast and lunch mostly. Breakfast and dinner, I apologize. And so for dinner, we eat pretty early too. We just had a salad. We always do a salad, 1 salad a day, and just any like chicken or cauliflower.
Some kind of meat.
Yeah.
We actually have a bunch of day of eating videos on YouTube. That's a big thing people like to see.
Yeah.
This is something I'm actually always experimenting with. It's rare that I go like more than 6 months doing the same thing, the same eating patterns. I think like 2 big meals and then maybe like a smoothie of some kind of like doing every once in a while. But like 2 to 3 meals. I usually don't go more than that. And I do the intermittent fasting, 16/8, like 16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating. I've been doing that for a really long time. That's one thing I've stuck with. I really like the benefits of that.
And have you guys seen any negative benefit or negative parts of being in ketosis?
The one real drawback, I would say, I guess there's a couple actually. The social aspect is obviously you can't just like go out for pizza. You always have to be kind of like in the back of your mind. It's like, what can I eat at this place? Mm-hmm. You have to do a lot of like looking up the menu before you go, stuff like that. And then another thing I'd say, just explosiveness at the gym, like the first couple sets or the first couple reps, like your 1 rep max of deadlift will probably go down a little bit. Like the explosiveness is a little lacking, but I think you make up for it by the endurance, like muscle endurance is a little better, I find.
Yeah, just piggybacking off the social aspect. It's not just about like what we're eating when we're out, but like having those questions. Like when I was at work, there was always brownies and bagels. Like that's just the daily at my work. So it's like, oh, do you want one? Do you want one? And eventually people are like,
why are you eating that?
Yeah, it's like they're insecure about not like, eating it. So they like project it. And then it's like, well, this is what I'm doing. And it's, it eventually turns into like a awkward, like, okay.
Then they're an undercover doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reveal themselves.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's true with any kind of healthy eating. I when I had my corporate job, I ate healthier than everybody else there, and they would always kind of be like, well, that's not healthy to do that. I'm like, wait a minute, you're telling me I should eat donuts? Like, that doesn't make any sense. You're like, well, yeah, because if you don't, then you're just going to binge. And I'm like, no, I'm not. That sounds like that's your thing, not my thing. So yeah, I definitely know that feeling.
Yeah.
Let's get back to, though, growing your YouTube channel. When you first started out, what kind of lessons have you learned from when you first started out till now? Like, what kind of videos do people like? What kind of equipment do you use? All those fun things.
I think we're still trying to figure out what people like. Really, what do you think people like?
Anything, I mean, just watch. People love to watch other people eat, is what I've realized. So like we've watched channels where people will say, this is what I'm eating, and then they'll show the aftermath, like that was fantastic. And then I watch that, I'm like, I wanted to see you eat that. Like, I don't know if you actually ate it. But so we always like try to make sure we're eating on camera, as weird as that sounds. I know people, they want to know that what we're making is legit. We've even had comments like, can you eat that after you make it so we know it's as good as you say? So that's a huge thing.
I think the most popular videos on our channel are definitely the recipe videos. Day of eating is another big one. Those are really the big two. We have like a lot of informational type of videos that are pretty popular. I would say a big tip though is just consistency on YouTube, and just with really everything. Like for 8 months straight, we've done 3 videos and 3 recipe posts per week, no exceptions. That's just like a law that we have. And I would say to be successful on YouTube, that's probably mandatory.
Yeah.
Just consistency.
Because anyone can be extremely interesting, and there are people who do just sit at home and watch YouTube videos. I didn't know they existed until I started a channel like that, because I never did it myself, but Matt did it. So other people are definitely doing it. And if you can bring something to the table, even if it's little, someone's going to watch you.
One other thing that I think is really interesting is there seems to be, this is just my theory, maybe it's a real theory, like a hooking point. It's like we watch really dumb YouTube channels that aren't like that entertaining, but if you watch 5 videos, then you kind of want to know what's going on in that person's life. Yeah. And we feel like we kind of have that. Like people want to know now what's going on in our lives.
Yeah, we get the question a lot, when are you getting married?
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's, we're always like never, but yeah, people are interested.
Until we went ring shopping the other day.
Don't say that.
Just bragging.
So yeah, a lot of different questions there though. So do you guys plan on trying to grow the YouTube channel more, or your own website in the coming year?
I think it's pretty much like both. There's no reason not to do both.
Right.
The main focus is always the website. The website is just, it generates us the most income is one reason. The original intent of us starting YouTube was to get traffic to the website. YouTube just kind of picked up on its own. Yeah, I think the website, but we really enjoy making YouTube videos. So we see a lot of people do YouTube videos just as like a checkbox, like we want to have some kind of YouTube presence so people can find us on YouTube. It's a search engine, which is cool. And then they kind of let it slack and they don't post for months, which that's cool too, but we really like making the videos. And we get a lot of instant feedback on YouTube. Like that's where we can check ourselves really well as like, this is what people like, this is what people want to see. And we just have like a really good symbiotic, I think that's the word, relationship with our audience where like we get constant feedback and we operate on that. Yeah.
And so like now when we're posting on Instagram or Snapchat, we'll get responses like, we'll be like, what do you want us to cook? And people will message us in like a couple seconds, and it's just, we're creating that relationship. And also when you're doing it full time, like you have so many projects going on, like you said, why wouldn't you build on every single platform you can? Like consistency as well as building a brand is not just, one thing or the other. You got to hit it all.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people listening are like, okay, all this is great. You have this great following, but it's a different thing to be able to quit your job and make money from it. So right now, I assume, is it the course, or how are you guys actually able to monetize this passion of yours?
The course definitely gives us like assured, like it makes us feel a lot better. Like we're positive this is a good decision now. But the month-over-month income was basically at replacement level for our job. And we've seen that grow every month. We're thinking it could maybe have a few down months in the summer, but we used AppDrive is our main source of income at this point. Yeah, it's an ad delivery network. It's like AdSense, but just a million times better, basically.
Yeah. Why is it a million times better?
Just the CPM, RPM, the ad rates you get from it. They're more targeted.
Yeah.
They're better placement. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got in on that actually really early. You need 100,000 page views per month, I believe, to apply. And that was just like a game changer. We were like, okay, at first it was like, how many page views do we need to make a good income off this when we were getting AdSense, and it was like, this doesn't seem feasible to us.
Yeah.
And then we started doing AdThrive. We have Amazon links. Those are pretty much 50-50 for the income from our site. And yeah, so now we basically replace the income from our jobs.
Yeah, Amazon links is extremely fascinating to me because I had no clue. I mean, you could link to Amazon, and for that next 24 hours, whatever they purchase, I get a commission. Like, that's a secret that like not a single person knows, I feel like, except you know, if you're doing a blog, if you're actually utilizing it. And
yeah, it really synergizes well with recipes because people want to see what ingredients we use. And I think even more so with keto, because people are always like kind of like, what, like they don't know exactly what to use. A lot of people want to know that it's like a keto approved, which I hate that term, but like a keto approved product.
Right. And then when you also have a YouTube channel and like an audience that you interact with on a daily basis backing you, and they know about the links, they'll be like, I want to support Keto Connect, so I'm going to intentionally buy from their blog.
Some people ask us for the links, like specifically.
Yeah.
People could be weird because some people are good like that, and then other people are like, no, I don't want to support you. And it's like, no, it costs you nothing. It's like, nah, I'm just gonna go to Amazon and search for it myself.
Yeah.
What about, let's go back to the keto diet itself. What are some of the mistakes, and I'm sure you guys see this a lot with your audience, what are some of the common mistakes that people make?
This has actually come to light a lot more. We have a Facebook group now, which seems to be less informed. I don't like using that term either, but probably less informed on the keto diet. And just like a lot of like the keto urine strips is the first mistake I feel like everyone makes. Those are not good. Don't use them. It's just really not telling you much. It tells you your excreted ketones, which is kind of good. It tells you that your body's at least producing them. But if you're trying to really hone in on accuracy, not great.
And most people, I mean, and you can see this from the group, no one wants to do their own research. Everyone wants the answers handed to them. So they'll post like, can I eat this? Or what happens when this happens on the Facebook group? And you have 30,000+ people chiming in and you're getting no response. And you're just, you know, you're going off of someone's personal opinion or belief. So it's tough. It's
kind of tough to sort through the conflicting information.
Yeah.
Another big one I'd say is just the fear of fat. Definitely a big one. People are very concerned about this diet and how it's going to impact their health. It takes like a good amount of research to really get you to where you need to be just mentally to be on the right track to do this diet, because you want to have a good foundation of like knowing you're right. Or at least knowing that this is something, there's some science behind why this would work for you.
Right.
Because when times get tough, it's easy to just be like, this is weird. Everyone eats high fat. Everyone told me fat was bad, and then just give up on it.
The government's they're pushing cereal, so why wouldn't I just eat cornflakes every single day of my life?
Yeah.
So do you get, instead of the urine test strips, do you use like I think it's the Precision Extra, or what do you use to test?
We want to get one of those. That's the best way to go, definitely. We have a Ketonics breath meter. It tests the breath acetone levels. And it's good for, like, just if you measure every morning, it's reliable like that. And you can get a good trend line of, like, maybe yesterday something not so good, so this morning my ketones are lower. But you can't really do the cool type of things where you can, like, eat something and then a couple hours later kind of test where you're at, which would be nice. So I would say probably go for the Precision Extra if you want to test. But really, testing is not huge. Like, you can kind of just feel out how you're feeling. And if you eat under 20 grams of net carbs a day for the first, couple weeks, really only the first 5 days or so, you're pretty much in ketosis.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's really a need for testing unless you want to test like intolerances or how your body reacts to certain foods, stuff like that.
Do you guys experiment with fasting at all?
We want to experiment more. I do intermittent fasting.
Yeah, I did for a while, but I didn't like the way my body adapted to it. I just, I felt more bloated and inflamed, so I stopped personally.
Yeah, I want to definitely try doing some really long fasts, seeing the benefits of those. I mean, I read a lot. We really like Dr. Fung. He's a proponent of fasting. There's a lot of good science that seems to indicate it's like a great way to extend your life and all of that. We've done an egg fast, which is like a fat fast type of thing, which is a lot of people do that for keto. We did, what, 92 hours or something? We cut it kind of short because we couldn't make it.
Yeah, we did it for like the experiment and the video factor.
Yeah, I want to try a really long fast, though, definitely, like a 5-day type of thing at some point. What's your
I have not done fasting. So right now, as you know, I'm in the middle of trying to launch this business, and I'm like, I don't want to experiment with any of this stuff until after the business is launched and stable. But once it is, I would like to. I've done some ketosis experimenting, but I probably didn't do the best. One of the issues I had personally was my stomach. It only affected me. I'm still am doing jujitsu, but at the time when I was doing jujitsu, about a minute or two into sparring, my stomach did not feel good, and it felt like the oils just wanted to come out. And so I do want to experiment with it again. The other negative side effect I noticed, and it was interesting because a friend of mine said the same thing, and maybe this was, I don't know, one of 100 different possibilities, but I noticed that up here, in the top corners of my head, my hair felt like it was thinning, and
really?
Which was interesting to me more because my friend, without any prompting, said the same thing, and I was like, I've been feeling this way, and then what's that?
I don't think that's an isolated thing. There are some people that do report that. I'm not sure the reasoning behind it, though. I'd have to look more into that, but no, it's definitely not it's uncommon, but it's definitely not like an unheard of thing.
One of the things I think it could have been potentially was I was eating a lot more saturated fat, and I'm not anti-saturated fat, but I do know that could lead to increased testosterone, and it's a certain way that the testosterone is, for lack of a better word, like metabolized in your body, that if you have excess of it, too much testosterone can lead to hair loss in a roundabout way. It's there's a process in there I'm forgetting, but basically I link it something to do with saturated fat increasing testosterone, but the testosterone not being properly utilized. I don't know what it was, but
that makes sense.
Yeah,
I've heard reports of it, definitely.
Okay, so that makes me feel a little bit better that I'm not alone. Actually, that brings me to my next question. What kind of different effects as a guy and a girl have you guys seen? I actually was just having a conversation with a woman who told me that she didn't like ketosis because it messed with her body, basically.
Yeah.
What did you notice?
So my menstrual cycle, sorry. That's
fine. Yeah, we can say that.
Is lighter, which I personally like. Like, I'm still getting it. Like, I'm not I haven't lost it. But it's lighter. I don't have cramping and I don't have bloating. And I used to be bedridden for the first 2 days of my menstrual cycle. So that's been a huge benefit for me.
We haven't really talked much about the differences.
Yeah.
The main thing is, even more so than guy versus girl, I feel like I just have a digestive system and body basically of gold, and I can handle anything, and she's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Much more sensitive. So we kind of, after we eat the same thing, we'll have a lot of different reactions, and we really try dissecting what's going on there, what foods did we eat this time to make me feel like this, which is a good habit to get into. And I think when you start keto or any kind of just healthier eating, you can pick up on those a lot more. You're much more in tune. The mind-body connection is much better. You can kind of get to the root of a lot of causes.
Yeah. So no benefits for you as a guy?
As opposed to girls, not really. No, not off the top of my head.
So I will ask then about the testosterone thing. Have you noticed, it's not an easy thing to notice in yourself. Have you noticed a difference in, the testosterone feeling?
Sex drive. No.
Well, not just sex drive. I was trying to think of a way of saying, because it's not just sex drive. It's also there's more. You can tell when you have higher,
yeah.
Within a month, I can tell when I'm more slightly aggressive and stuff like that.
No, I definitely can pick up on the feeling. I do a lot of things to try and increasing it, actually. I haven't noticed a huge difference since being on keto, but I do feel that intermittent fasting plays a part in that, and I think there's some science behind that. And also, what was I going to say? Testosterone. Oh, also being at a calorie deficit, I noticed that plays a big part in my testosterone levels. So if I'm eating at excess and I'm 3,000 calories a day, lifting hard, trying to put on a little weight, I feel less testosterone generally. I've also tried cold showers and stuff, but Yeah, no real difference from keto with testosterone. I think it is a pro-testosterone diet generally, though, but it's hard for me to really pick up on that. And we're not really like we're not like professionals on this. We're just giving our own experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things, we don't know all the science behind everything.
Right.
We're just kind of like N of one studies, and that's what we give to the world a lot of the time.
Do you think your website readers and your YouTube audience actually is that something that drives them to you? The fact that you guys aren't the top most experts, you're more just your regular people that are into this and maybe a little bit better educated than the average person?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what we bring is more just like a genuine approach, because we're also not like jacked. I mean, Matt never has his shirt off, so like they don't know how he looks. And
they don't know I'm jacked.
Right, exactly. So we do just look like an average couple with a cat that lives in a small apartment, and it's like, oh, they're relatable. Like, and there's a guy and a girl, and we're forward. Like I curse and like we make sexual jokes. Like we're just people. So I think that overall is a good vibe to have if you want to have a channel, because people can see through it really quickly, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think just our dynamic is really good. I would also say we make it more approachable. I think the keto diet is really, that's the thing that I would say we do really well, is make a really intimidating diet very easy. And we a lot of the time our recipes are like replacements for other people's favorite foods, like things you're missing on keto. We get so many comments that are like, I didn't know keto was possible for me until I discovered your website, like stuff like that.
What are some of your guys' favorite recipes that you guys have made?
We always ask each other this question because it's like tough. So my favorite dessert is protein cakes. So we use like oat fiber, coconut flour, and protein powder.
Yeah, those are good. Super low carb. I really like the desserts. That's the answer. We just made these fudge brownies that are the bomb. I like the cheesecakes a lot. It's really easy to make keto cheesecakes too.
Yeah, but it's also important, we talk about this, is like the recipes we make aren't everyday recipes. Like guys, don't just go and make recipe after recipe down our list. Enjoy in them and indulge once in a while, but we eat like salads every day and we barely make our own recipes.
Yeah, the reason is because like you can go on the website and find a Jamie Oliver or Gordon Ramsay recipe for like grilled chicken, right? So we're not going to make grilled chicken recipes, which is what you should be eating a lot of the time, or maybe like grilled chicken thighs. But so we're making like the keto brownies because Jamie Oliver is not making those.
Yeah.
And do you guys have a structure for, let's say you want to come out with a new recipe, how do you figure out what you're going to do? Do you film the process even if you don't know how it's going to turn out? What's your guys' structure look like?
I feel like right now we lack structure.
We're trying to work on that more.
Yeah. So we determine off the bat if it's going to be a video or it's just going to be a recipe. And that always depends on how popular it is, like keyword wise, who else has made it. Like if we think it's going to be popular and people are going to want to see how to make it, then we always do a video. And one of us, we just take the lead. One films, one records, and we kind of go on the fly with that. There's no like script or anything.
Yeah, actually just lately we've added the aspect of keyword research before making the recipe.
Yeah.
Instead of just like getting in the kitchen, making a bunch of stuff and deciding what we want to make. The videos though, they really help with our Google rank. Like if we have a YouTube video in our blog post, it's really pretty easy for us to get first page of Google for keto recipes.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time also we'll make like a big batch and do a couple variations. We'll make like mini bread loaves, for example, and do like 6 different variations and then decide which one's the best. We do a lot of recipe testing, definitely.
Yeah.
That was going to be my follow-up question. So it's not just, oh, we tried it, it was good enough. You do a couple of variations, see which one tastes the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
That does not seem easy to me, because that's been my thought this whole time. When I'm talking to you guys about recipes, is like, all right, I think I could make something up and it'd take a good picture, but it's going to be a different thing for it to actually taste good.
Right.
Yeah, it really takes. We like doing it. Like we enjoy, especially at nights. Like at the start, we would just, because you can't really take pictures. There's like a very small window, which we learned, of when you can actually take pictures because you need natural light. It's pretty much like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So before we left our jobs, it was the weekend. We had to do everything on the weekends. We had to like plan what we want to fill those 4-hour window of the 2 weekend days, which was pretty stressful. So we would spend a lot of our nights just like baking up a storm in the kitchen, trying a bunch of crazy things, and then have stuff ready for the weekend.
Right.
And did you guys buy a special camera to take the pictures, or what kind of camera, out of curiosity?
We have a Sony A600.
6,000.
6,000. I'm so sorry.
Two of them actually.
Yeah, we got our second one like a month ago.
Yep.
And we were like, why didn't we get this beforehand?
We really like them. They're mirrorless cameras, not the DSLR.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they take great videos and pictures. It's perfect for us.
Yeah. And
I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, and having two, you get different angles, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Smart. In the early days, were you guys just taking them with a camera phone, or what? The first photo you ever put up on a recipe, how did you take it?
We took it with our camera, actually. I bought that before starting, which was kind of like, I feel like that was the first real like
investment.
Commitment. Yeah, I'm like, I need to make this money back, not even make the money back with like actual income, but just like my investment. I need to take 1,000 pictures with this camera to justify it. And now we're like, hundreds of thousands deep on it. And it's worth it now.
Yeah.
Definitely. But that was definitely like the first sticking point. And I feel like all along the way we had different sticking points of like why we should keep going. And now there's no, like, we're going to keep going no matter what.
There's no turning back.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for, the 20-something people out there listening to this that want to start a blog, want to start a YouTube channel about their passion?
The most important thing is to just do it. So
Nike.
So we listen to a lot of podcasts and like a lot of inspirational, motivational people, and everyone's over their 20s, and they always get like a question like this, and they're like, what would you do, differently? And they always say like, I would party more or enjoy my life more. Like I was too stressed or working too hard. But I say the complete opposite. Like being in my 20s, like if you find something you thoroughly enjoy, like just do it. Like don't even think twice about it, because you're not going to wake up one day and be like, I should have drank more. People say it, but I don't believe them. Like if you don't work hard now, like you're just going to be doing a 9-to-5 for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I would say I believe in that as well. Also, just like consistency, day in, day out, just show up, man. Yeah. Every day you do a little something, it adds up. Like we've been doing this every single day. Like I said, 3 videos, 3 recipes a week. Just keep doing it. Things happen. Like you just have to show up every day.
Yeah.
If you want something, no matter what it is, for the most part, there's some like talent level involved, sure, but you can do more than you think you can do if you just string together months and years of doing things consistently.
Yeah.
Now I want to open up this question. I mean, it's similar to my last question, so I might get a similar answer, but just general advice. So let's say not even about the entrepreneurship thing, but for all the 20-something out there listening, do you have any general advice? And it could be exactly what you just said, or it could be something slightly different.
What do you got?
I would be less cynical, just like think positively. I think we lack a lot of that day to day. People love to complain. And I mean, not that I don't complain myself, but it just becomes a habit. Like habits are really easy to form when they're negative things. So just stop complaining and embrace all the great things you have.
Yeah, gratitude. That's big. Operating from a place of gratitude is something just recently I've been starting to do and make a note of more, make a conscious effort, because now that we have some success, I would say, it's easy to marginalize the person emailing you about like, is broccoli keto, like something like that. But the first day we started Keto Connect, that email would make my day, and just being grateful of that, it just helps put things into perspective. All we have, like we have a great relationship, an amazing cat. And we just quit our jobs. You have to be grateful. And I think that helps just your perspective on the world.
Yeah, and being happy.
Awesome. Guys, how can listeners connect with you, follow you guys, all that fun stuff?
Pretty much everywhere. We're Keto Connect, Keto Connect. KetoConnect.net, that's our website. That's like the hub. That's everything. Twitter, Instagram, right? Pinterest.
Yeah. It's all just Keto Connect. So search that and you'll find it.
If you really want to dive deep, we have the Keto Meal Prep for Weight Loss course. So check in on that. That's good. That's basically just all of our collective knowledge and months of effort put towards one program to help you guys succeed.
I want to talk really quickly about the course before I forget. So when people get the course, like what can they expect from it?
Basically just a structure to get you through so we make a lot of recipe videos. We teach you how to cook, and we kind of surveyed what was out there already, the charged keto services, and a lot of them were just like printable recipes and like a calendar, or like, eats eggs for breakfast, salad for lunch, that type of thing. So we went way further than that. We have hours of videos showing you how to cook, and it uses the concept of meal prep, which actually reduces the time, reduces the food waste, all of that. And it makes it really easy. A lot of people have trouble calculating their macros and stuff like that. Like, it just takes care of really everything if you want to dive into a keto diet.
Yeah, so we've done macro adjustments. So, if you eat 3,000 calories and I eat 1,500, we can both do the same thing.
And are we wrapping up here? Because I had a question for you I wanted to ask.
Sure. Yeah.
I saw you have a lot of nootropic info on your website, and I'm just trying to dive into that. Do you have any recommendations on nootropics?
My favorite one, it's Ciltep. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
Never heard of that.
So Ciltep it's basically artichoke extract mixed with forskolin, not foreskin, forskolin, which is like some kind of an herb, which I know it sounds very similar. Funny enough, I know the owner now, but back in the day, when I first tried it and liked it, I did not. It's the only thing I've tried that I really think works that's not like Adderall. Other than Adderall, which in college I did experiment with, and it was like a lot of fun and it definitely worked. But Ciltep is one thing that works for me. I just yesterday had Dr. Andrew Hill on the podcast. I had him on like a year and a half ago, and then he sent me some True Brain. To be honest, that did not work well for me. It made me too anxious. So a lot of the nootropics out there make me like too anxious, or same thing sometimes even with caffeine. So I don't know how sensitive you are to caffeine, but for me, a lot of the paracetams can make me, my friend described it as like a demon's chasing you. That feeling of like I got to get things done, which is not something I like. I need the opposite. So the good thing about Ciltep is the way I describe it is you're just a little bit more clear. You don't need to take breaks. Like for me, working from home by myself, I will sit down and I'll sit down, work, and I'll get kind of bored and be like, okay, well, I need to get up, move around or something. When I take Ciltep, it's just I don't need to take breaks, and it's not like I'm buzzing. Like some of the, even like a cup of coffee, you're kind of buzzing and you're like, you feel like you're being pulled forward. And I don't take Ciltep all the time because you know what, it works well enough that I'm like, I don't know how this works, and I don't know if I really trust it. So I'd experiment with those. I've taken, I think it's, let me think, vinpocetine. I could be pronouncing it wrong. That one. Huperzine A is interesting for learning retention, but all these, it's kind of minimal effects, to be honest with you.
Oh, and you can't really tell, The Ciltep, so does that have any like tolerance buildup, or is that you can take it daily?
You supposedly can take it daily. I personally wouldn't, just because it's strong enough feeling to me, or it's a strong enough difference in behavior that I'm like, this is probably not something I should do every day. You know, like, I mean, it doesn't feel bad. It's not like I have a hangover from it or anything, but I'm like, okay, I don't know how this is working, but it's probably not a great idea.
I just started with L-theanine, and I'm noticing that the benefits of that. I really like that so far. That's the only one I've really taken.
So L-theanine, that works really. I mean, do you drink coffee or?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay. So I think the difference between L-theanine and a lot of them is L-theanine's like almost like it's supposed to relax you, like a calm focus, which is what I want more. So I do mess around with some L-theanine, but a lot of the other ones, I feel like as a society, we're all about getting like excited, getting like caffeine and energy and whatever, where I'm already baseline like too excited. I need like something that like can focus me down more.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, for the tips.
Yeah. I guess thank you guys so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. And if you did, make sure you hit the big red subscribe button down below. You can also check me out on Facebook and on Twitter. And I release a new video every Monday, and by hitting that subscribe button, you'll get those new videos every Monday. And this is really a podcast. It's also a website. You can check out the website. It's howtodoyour20s.com. I'll put a link right over here as well. And what it's all about is trying to improve your life. And we specifically focus on things that people in their 20s are interested in. So make sure you like the video if you liked it. Subscribe. Like us on Facebook and Twitter, whatever. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again on another video.